Hustle through the sky, moonwalk on clouds. Stacking up cheddar, feeling better. Proud, mind sharp, cutting through vibes. Samurai sword, dropping bars, hit like a freight train aboard. City lights reflect dreams, mirrored ambition. Chasing glory in the chaos, no permission. Quick wit, sharp tongue, arrows in the dark. Navigating life, playing like a park. Buster rhymes taking over, no one can ignore. From the alleyways to the grand concert hall floor. Putting pieces together, call it life jigsaw. Rise from the ashes, phoenix never withdraw. Cold nights, warm dreams, hustling for the cream. Every block another challenge, never what it seems. Silent whispers in the wind, secrets unfold. Weak stories with rhythm, iron thread to gold. Past struggles, now chapters in a book. Flipping through pages, never a second look. Running fast, marathon of vibes, so free. Corner to corner, city to city, life beats. Eyes on the prize, never blink, dodge the haze. Echoes of the past haunt sometimes the blaze. Blueprint the future, scribbled on city walls. Stand tall, fortress of rhymes, never falls. Tell me right.
Man, that sounds so good. After a 2-week long break, we are back, and we are better
than ever.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to FLH Radio.
First and last hit show. Mac, you want to hit us with the introductions as always?
Oh, yeah. Good morning.
Oh, yeah.
Good night. If you're going to bed, have a good night rest. We'll see you in the morning. I'm Mac Dubs. That's AJ. And down below is our special guest, HB Gibson. How are you doing, my brother?
I'm doing great.
Thank you for having me. Look at you with all that professional setup over there and whatnot.
Mostly.
That's a shame.
Okay. Listen, I always tell people, man, listen, if you want to do what I do, you don't have to have a setup like this. This was like years in the making. I do mostly voice acting in here. I've been doing voice acting for like the past 5 years. Because I thought I was never going to be in front of a camera again. I guess I lied to myself. But yeah, I do mostly voice acting, audio books, video games. Been doing a lot of video games lately, and film and all kinds of great stuff. I have a great time. Yep.
What got you into acting? Voice acting, acting.
What got me? Well, I've always wanted to act ever since I was a kid. I watched a lot of TV, a lot of cartoons and everything, and I look at these folks and I go, you know what? I want to do that. And I remember my stepmother would take me to, to plays and, all this, see all these wonderful performances and everything. I would just be like, wow, I wanted to be up on stage. I wanted to be on that screen, but I never really knew how to do it or what it took to really do it, but like fast forward to like when I turned 30, I did my first actual real play in a real theater. It was called They Sing Christmas Up in Harlem. It was a Harlem version of the Christmas Carol. Then after that, I stayed with that theater company, and I did a production of a soldier's play. And then it just took off from there. I was just doing plays left and right. And then one day I met the amazing, the great Nathan Zen Sapien. He was the first director that I ever worked with on a film. And we did something called The Human Game. And life just took off from there. With voice acting, when me and my fiance, we moved to Atlanta. We lived in Atlanta for like a very, very short period of time until, things fell apart. We had a fire over there, and then, our parents were like not doing very well over here. So let's just say that fire, I guess, was God's way of saying, take your behind back up north. While we were there, she bought me a microphone. Matter of fact, she bought me this microphone right here. And that's the microphone that I use for voice acting. I started putting together my own little booth over in the condo that we were staying in. And then I went on ahead and got all the rest of the equipment. And I just started practicing over and over and over again. I picked up books and everything on voice acting. And after the fire, we moved back up north. She went to go be with her father, and I went and I stayed with my mother and everything. So we were taking care of our parents. We were still, together. And, it just took off. One day, somebody had, sent me an email asking me if I wanted to do his audiobook. And then it just took off. So I did 3 audiobooks, did some video games, and, it just snowballed, and now I'm still doing it.
So what would you say was the most famous voice acting role that you have, or just acting role in general, that you have been a part of or you got to play?
I would say that the one character that has taken off the most is the Watcher. The Watcher is a character that I played in a video game called Apeirophobia. Apeirophobia is a horror game. It's like a backrooms horror game from Polaroid Studios, and it's on Roblox. And the kids on Roblox, they're rabid fans. You know what I mean? And I never thought in my life that one day I would have, like, I'm not gonna say thousands. I would say like a good couple hundred fans of the game sending me stuff. Oh, we really love you as a Watcher, and sending me fan art. I'm like, man, I'm getting fan art. I'm like, whoa, man, this is really, really nice. The fans are just so nice. As a matter of fact, everybody in the horror game community, because most of the video games that I do are horror. Matter of fact, pretty much all the games that I did are horror games. And the horror game community have been so nice and so loving and so, enthusiastic about what I do. And it's just been really great, man. The Watcher has been, quite a hit.
So go ahead, man.
Big fan of horror games. No, I was just saying, big fan of horror games.
Yeah.
Like to be scared every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
But is it the jump scares, or is it the suspense type of scare, like the paranormal type? Like, do you guys like to be creeped out, or that jump scare?
The jump scare is always fun, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. When I started doing the voice acting, me and my lady and I, we loved watching Markiplier. That guy, man, he's a gamer on YouTube, very, very popular gamer on YouTube. And then we started watching Corey Kenshin and a whole bunch of other gamers. And before I started voice acting, I always said, like, wouldn't it be cool to voice act in a video game that they would play one day, and to hear my voice coming out of a game that they're playing and see and hear their reaction? It was crazy. So Markiplier, I did a game called Blood Wash. That was my first one, and having everybody playing Blood Wash and how they really, really enjoyed the game, because it's not just a good horror game. It has a great story. It has a great story, and it's a horror game that takes place, believe it or not, in a laundromat. That's the crazy thing. And
my gosh. I'm sorry. That just got me hyped, because me and AJ have been writing a script, and it was about a car wash.
Oh, okay.
And then we turned it into an amusement park.
Actually, we pitched the idea to Nate, and he apparently, the one thing about Steve is Steve says one thing and says, "Oh, okay, I'm done after this," and then he ends up doing another project. Everyone found that out. But Steve is actually willing to hear that pitch, and hopefully what we have drawn up and just come up with, hopefully something that after the Tone Legacy, hopefully it'll be something that he'll take on and run with. Mm-hmm. Speaking of the Tone Legacy, though, how do you feel about it?
I'm excited, man. Listen, playing. I don't want to talk too much about it, but let's just say, playing the type of character that I'm going to be playing I love it. I'll just say I like the villain role. Man, it's fun. It is fun.
Yeah,
I can't wait for it. The tone has been an amazing series so far, and the love that goes into it, and the passion that goes into these films. Man, Steve is killing it.
oh yeah, and again, not to really go into too much detail. I know there was a lot of changes, a lot of pushback due to whether it was personal or family obligations. I know that things happen. Either way, I'm just Mac, you good over there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I know that I'm excited about it. It's definitely something that I'm losing my train of thought here.
You got company over there?
That's what I thought too. Hold on a minute. I want to test the theory out. And just
right.
because he's my brother, I can do this.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
I love you, Mac. You're my brother. You would do the same thing for me. And now watch. Now, see, he's moving his hand, which means he's going to go unmute himself. Watch. We're always messing with each other.
Okay.
But no, I'm excited about it. It's something I'm looking forward to. And I've told Steve, and I'll tell Nate and anybody that I work with, I don't care the big or how big or how small the part is.
Yeah.
I'm here to show up and make it as easy for the director and producer as possible. All I can do is suggest ideas, give my thoughts and opinions, and at the end of it, say these are just my thoughts and opinions. If you roll with it, great. If not, I understand. I just show up, do my job, and that's it. It's not my project. I'm not going to sit there and tell you, well, I don't like this. We're going to do it this. No, I don't do that, and I would never do that because it's not my place.
Right. But the main thing is to just be enthusiastic. You know what I'm saying? You know. Yeah. And then if you have a suggestion, there's a way to deliver it. Yeah, and if they use it, they use it. If they don't, they don't. I'm just happy to be a part of it, and just part of being a good actor is just taking the directions. If you're having trouble with what's being given to you, don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask if it could be done a different way, and if the director says no, just do your best you can to try to do it the way he wants it. And
I would say there's two. How I look at it is there's two different actors. There's those who get very big-headed and they think they become bigger than the project itself.
Yeah.
And then there's those that are very humble and just grateful for the opportunity. And with that humble gratitude, there is a sense of being too humble or just not being, I don't want to say boisterous enough. I believe there's a healthy balance, right? You don't want to go too overboard in thinking that you are the absolute star. You become bigger than the project. But at the same time, you don't want to be too humble and be like, well, I think it could be done better, but I'm not going to say nothing because I'm here. It's very okay to talk and say, this is what I think. Can we meet in the middle? And if not, like you said, just that's it.
All right. Me myself, I'm like, if the script say it, I do it. If there's a line that for some, say like there's a line and I might say it a little bit differently than what's written. I do the best I can to try to make sure to do it what's written, but sometimes the flow of how I say it is more natural than what's written. But if the director says do it the way it's written, hey, I gotta fall in line. You know what I'm saying? I gotta do what he says. But hopefully, so far I've been lucky enough to work with directors that didn't mind me saying a line differently, where it was like something different, as in like the difference between saying and or something as simple as that, like the word and might be in the line, but I might say or, and sometimes, but it's still the line is still saying the same thing. It's still the point is still coming across. Some directors don't mind you changing it up as long as that point is still coming across. But other than that, I try to do it as like
is how it's written.
The line is written, Yeah.
Well, I think Mac thinks maybe he's in timeout or something. I took him out of timeout, but he put himself back in. Mac, you all right there, bud? You come in, talk, something like.
You can unmute, man.
I tried,
It was the TV. My daughter was watching a movie.
Oh, okay. I didn't mean you had to stay on mute, like.
Well, I don't want to be rude.
Well, no, but you ain't got to make me look out to be an asshole or something like that. I mean, look, and HB, here's the one thing I'm very open about.
Yeah,
I'm an asshole. I don't like, and I'm just honest. I don't like people. I'm very much introverted, right? You would actually think, just by me being open, you'd think that I wasn't cut out for radio and things like that.
Right.
I'm a nice guy. I'm introverted. My personality is my personality is an acquired taste, so to speak. And it's like I'll be nice and cordial, but I mean, outside of that, you ain't gonna see me walking up to Joe down the street. Hey, Joe, let me be your best friend. Let's go out for dinner. Like, no, I'm not gonna do that, because it's just I'm very just me. I'm comfortable, and yeah, I mean, I won't turn away. I won't turn somebody away. I'll be nice and cordial, but for the most part, if you say something or you do something, I'll correct you and I'll tell you about it. But
yeah,
I'm very much in my own bubble, and I like my bubble. But I'm trying to improve and to be a better, more wholesome type of individual. I'll tell you, I swear it kills me just a little bit more and more each time,
Right. Right.
But look, I mean, I don't know if you're the religious type, but I believe God wants me to improve and to be nicer. And if that's the case, then, who am I to tell God no?
Right. I'm definitely down with the Father, man. Definitely.
Oh yeah. and it's. I mean, I would like to think I've made strides of improvement. That's I believe that's what it's for. But sometimes, right? Sometimes you got to be that guy and be like, "Look, asshole! I done told you, you pissed me off. Leave me the fuck alone, or I'll hit you. I'll smack you in the face."
You don't let people walk all over you. That's the one thing that even if you got to take them aside and be like, "Hey, look, I ain't like what you said, man. I think maybe that you could have done that or said that a little bit better, or listen, maybe this should be done this way because of this reason." And then even the Bible says, if at all possible, learn to reason together, learn to reason with everybody.
Preach, brother man. Let them have it.
That's what it says. It says, if at all possible, let us reason together and let's be at peace with one another.
Oh yeah.
That's how I roll.
So me and AJ, we've worked on, we've worked with different radio stations. We worked with the Block 105 Radio out in New York, and then we worked with SoCal Radio out in California.
Mm.
We also worked with another one we don't mention anymore. They wanted to bring us in as a team. Everything was going great first couple of days, well, like third, fourth day, I ended up having technical difficulties, and he just wanted to give me the boot.
Wow.
Dude comes on there. He's like, you know what? I'm the real Mac Dubs. We don't need him no more. AJ, we're gonna come up with something new. And
Mac, there seems to be something wrong with your audio. This ain't cutting it for me, Mac. It ain't cutting it for me.
hey, you know what? That's okay.
I
it ain't cutting for you, but it's doing fine for me, buddy.
His audio is fine. HB, actually, and here's where I feel bad, but at the same time, he knows I'm just giving him shit for it, because that was actually the one thing after he got the boot. He tried to come back, and he was watching it, and he's like, the individual, he's like, yeah, this ain't cutting it for me, Mac. Just take the time off and don't worry about it. And then they wanted me to let him go. They wanted me to just at the end of it tell him he's done.
Wow.
So I'm sitting there, and later that night, we had a group chat, and I must have did like a small book, and I'm like, no, it's for me, it's a loyalty, and I hold and loyalty for me is in the highest of regards. If you show loyalty to me, then I got you,
right?
And I reciprocate, and I'm it's. Mac has gone out of his way to do so much for me. I am not about to turn around and do that to him. That number one, that's not fair to him, right? He didn't deserve it. He didn't wrong me. However, if I'm showing 100% loyalty and I'm there for you and I'm right by your side, and you wrong me, your loyalty is now it's gone. Then that means I have no ties. That means if and I've had to do that before. I've had somebody very close to me, have loyalty with me, and a lot of betrayal, and at that point, I cut ties with the individual. It's like I wish the guy the best. I hope he's doing well, but at the same time, because I want to see, I very much live by. I want to see you eat. Just not at my table.
Yeah.
and that's really what it came down to.
Right.
I mean, if you piss me off enough, and I try not to get this far, if I see you eating at another table, I'll just come. I'll snatch your fucking plate and I'll eat that shit myself, and I'll watch you starve. But again, it's about improving, right? So we got to try to better ourselves.
That's true.
That's true. I just took that into motivation, because I spoke with the host of the station. He's like, this is not your thing. You'll never be good at it. Blah blah blah. Because I just stick to coaching football. Sure did prove him wrong.
You'd be surprised. I love stories like that.
We own our own station now.
Cool. Yeah.
And actually, they've actually stole like three of our bits, our segments on our show.
Man.
That's
really?
when you know you've made a success, when you get other people trying to rip off what you built.
Right.
But I mean, and that's how I look at it. It's like, I mean, that must say a lot about us for doing but besides all that, what would you say with the voice acting, what has been actual, like, film wise and being like on screen, what has been your most well-known film outside of voice acting, and then of course the gamings and stuff like that?
Well, only recently, there's I'm in a web series right now called En Route, and En Route it tells a story of 4 service drivers, like Uber drivers, and and the lives that they live and the things that they get into. And I play a character named Obi. I'm a retired cop.
Juan Kenobi? I had to.
That was coming. I knew that was coming. No, but seriously, his name is Obi. I'm a Star Wars fan myself. Original though. Anyway, his brother Eric, he and I, my character and Eric, they share a car, and they do the driving and everything. They use the same car, and let's just say that Eric is a little fed up with the money that he's making doing that, and he kind of wants to do other things, and his brother's trying to keep him from doing other things. And so I'll just leave it at that. It's called En Route. It is available on YouTube right now. It is a series by a great filmmaker, Omar Sproul, and I've worked with him before on a couple of other projects. Prior to that, I think it was like in mid early 2000s, I did a series called Body Jumpers. It was a sci-fi web series, and by Alex Fernandez, and I played a character named Darius, and he's an alien agent, and these agents, they're kind of like U.S. Marshals but from outer space, and we're out apprehending intergalactic criminals, and there's this race of aliens called body jumpers that can actually possess body to body and live inside of it until they can't live inside of it anymore. And my job is to hunt them down along with the main character, Shiara, who's like we all have superpowers. If we're from another planet, and we have powers, and we have weapons and stuff like that. And I participated in putting together fight choreography. I don't do fight choreography anymore because that was years ago. I'm in less shape than I am, so I don't really do the action stuff anymore. But that series had many different spin-offs, and even comic books. There's even a comic book, a Body Jumpers comic book that's available, believe it or not. And but I would say that En Route is starting to like gain traction. Body Jumpers, I haven't done that in many years. There's been like three seasons of that. I'm not sure if he's going to go on and keep doing that. I'm not sure if I'm going to be a part of that anymore because it takes a lot of work, and I'm kind of off doing other things right now. But those two, I think, have been pretty popular, I would say.
Now, Mac, I feel like I'm taking over. Where are you at, dude? Come on, jump in, ask some questions.
I did.
Don't.
Yeah, I have been asking questions.
You're quiet, Mac. Where are you? Usually you do more talking than I do. I think, kind of. It's been a while. Anyway,
it has been a while. It has been a while. So, what would you prefer sticking to doing? Voices for video games or films?
Man, it's been now. It's
or
like
whatever.
Now it's like it's like voice acting pulling me this way, screen acting pulling me this way. So I would say, listen, I'm happy doing both, but there's one project that I really had such a good time doing. I don't know if we're going to be doing any more episodes. I hope we do, but I did do, I would say, a dream role. And the name of the series is called Happy's Horror Crypt. I play a deranged horror, almost like he's like a street hustler, but he's a clown that tells horror stories. And I'm like the crypt keeper. I've always wanted to do that because I was a big fan of characters
freaking cool.
Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah, like Tales from the like the Crypt Keeper, Elvira. I was really big on Mystery Science Theater 3000. The host, the one that hosts, an anthology sort of horror series, and we did about 5 episodes of those. So if you look them up on YouTube, Happy's Horror Crypt, and you'll see the episodes. Matter of fact, if you go to my YouTube channel. HB Gibson on YouTube. I have a playlist that says Happy's Horror Crypt, or I think it says Happy's Horror. It was called Happy's Horror Corner, then it turned into Happy's Horror Crypt, and it's really good. It's the production is fantastic, and I had such a good time being a horror host.
Now, HB, from personal experience,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
From personal experience, and this like to throw out there to the both of you guys, has there been a horror character that you guys used to be, I mean, just completely petrified of, but have grown to just love and have a special place in your heart for that character? Absolutely.
I have to respect the Xenomorph. Let's just say that I was so freaked out by that thing. I remember when Alien first came out when I was a kid, and the trailer itself was scary to me. All right, because all you heard was like, all you saw was this, the camera moving back and forth, and then you see this egg, and then all of a sudden it cracks open, and you hear that wah, wah, and I'm like, what the? And then you see the woman run. You see Ripley running, and everybody screaming, and the cat and everything, and all of a sudden, in space, no one here can hear you scream. I'm like, yo, that damn thing would come on late at night, and I'll be like half asleep, and then the trailer would come on. I'll be like, yo, this must be one scary movie. And then one day, here I am, like, I think I was 10 years old. I go into Toys R Us, and I'm looking around. I'm seeing the word alien all over the place, and I'm like, oh my God, that's what that thing looks like. I was petrified, and I'm like, what in the? I'm 10 years old, and I'm like, I put my hands on my hips. I'm like, what in the hell are they doing, selling toys with this hideous creature? They had alien puzzles that was in the egg. Like you take the egg, you crack open the egg, and it has puzzle pieces, and then you can actually create the thing. Then they had target games. So I'm petrified. I'm like, I'm walking around the corner. I'm like, yo, let me get around some G.I. Joe, some Star Wars. Let me clear my mental palate. Bruh, let me tell you, I went into that action figure aisle. Bruh.
There's more there.
Stacks and stacks and stacks of alien action figures, freaking 8 inches tall, 9 inches tall. I'm like, yo, I can't get away from this thing, man. I'm like, what the? So I decide, here's the funny part. I decide, okay, I'm going to challenge my fear. I pick up that alien doll, right? I'm like, okay, let me see what this thing is. Let me face my fears. Let me see what this thing is all about. So I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, all right, oh my God, this thing is still hideous. And when you pick up a box with a big toy in it, it ain't bolted down very well. I turned that thing to the side, that thing shifted over, I dropped that thing and ran out the damn aisle. No joke. I told my mother, I was like, Mom, they got alien toys in there. Don't they know that this is an R-rated movie? That thing is ugly.
That alien tried to eat me.
Man, I'm trying to get some relief. I'm trying to clear the mental palate, be around some G.I. Joe and some Star Wars, to try to, get myself back on the safe, positive vibe. And I'm running into alien action figures. Oh my God.
Mac,
I would have to say it would probably have to be oh God. Probably Jeepers Creepers.
Okay.
And story behind that is we watched I can't remember how old I was first time I watched that movie, but my dad had the Jeepers Creepers the way he whistled on his cell phone every time it rang.
Oh,
So so he would get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go to work sometimes, and it'd just be his alarm clock, and I hear it, and I'm just like, Dad. Dad.
Oh man.
See, for me, I would have to say it was. Oh, go ahead, Mac. I'm sorry.
Oh no, and then I would have to say Wrong Turn.
Oh.
Just because I'm from I'm from the state, and I've seen where they shot the film out and everything.
Mm.
Mac,
And
did you take a wrong turn?
I've taken many wrong turns back back in that state band, and
I think we
I
all have
tell you
taken a
what.
wrong turn at one point or another.
Though for me, I would have to say, and I would just be honest, Chucky. I used to.
Chuck ain't nothing to mess with. Chucky is
No.
not nothing to mess with.
I used to, and when I tell you, I used to be traumatized of that little fucker. Right? I used to have dreams, well, not even dreams, nightmares. Similar to you, I would like wake up, be like half asleep, and there'd be like a commercial on, or advertising the movie or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I get so petrified, and I'll never forget. This was back when, I don't know if HB, if you're a wrestling fan or not. Back in the old WCW days, they had Scott Steiner and Rick Steiner doing their back and forth, and it happened to be the episode where Chucky came on the.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
Oh wow!
When I tell you, I watch wrestling every week, and it was my go-to. That was my escape. And I seen Chucky on there. I ran on my dad's lap, buried my head in his chest, and I closed my ears. I mean, to the point where I thought my ears were bleeding. I was pushing in so hard, and I just because he petrified me that much. Now, I will sit there. I've recorded and watched all 3 seasons of the TV show, and it's just like he's really not that bad, And I gravitated to him being one of my favorite horror characters out there, and it's just I can't I don't even know really where that interest, I guess, or that intrigue came from. It's I don't want to speak
after this.
I don't want to speak for anybody, but for me personally, it's one of those things that it's something that you feared. You don't really know where it comes from. You just have that.
Right.
You grow to love it, I guess.
I think where the reason why Alien was always like a fear to me was because it stalks you. You don't know, it could just come out anywhere at any time. It doesn't just up and just attack you like that. It'll wait till the right moment and will meet you right where you least expect it. It's that element of surprise, and the fact that this thing is, when it comes to its survival, when it attacks, and it's very absolute. The xenomorph is very absolute, and if you try to harm it, it will bleed on you. And it's like, oh, you cut me? Well, guess what? I got acid for blood. You know what I mean? And I guess maybe the thing about the xenomorph that I respect is like its whole persona, its lifestyle, its life, and it's very, very absolute in what it does.
Yeah.
So
I got a question for this for both of y'all. Yeah. So besides Freddy and Jason, what other 2 horror characters would you like to see go at each other?
Man, I would love to see Pinhead go against Candyman, actually.
Oh man. What about you, AJ?
It's tough. There's so many good ones out there.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately I think of HB. That was a good one. Yeah. Just to see the, I guess, dynamic of it, I'd like to actually see Pennywise.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm talking from like the newer versions of it, because they made Pennywise, I mean, just absolutely sadistic in the first, in the two. I would honestly, Pennywise and because it's very well, both characters are thought out, and just how they do things. Struggling here. I'd say maybe Pennywise and Chucky.
Pennywise and Chucky. That's a good one.
Given.
See, I was gonna say the little hand puppet from Saw, and then I was gonna say Chucky as well.
Oh, what's his? Yeah, I know. Jigsaw.
Jigsaw.
Yeah, Jigsaw. Yeah.
I mean, there's so many, and actually, on the subject of all this stuff, they are talking about, and I don't know how true it is. There have been talks of an upcoming Freddy versus Jason 2. Except this time, Freddy and Jason are teaming up to face two other horror icons. I take it with a grain of salt because I haven't really had a chance to dig too much into the research. But just another Freddy versus Jason it's intrigued me. It's piqued my interest. Especially given how that movie ended.
Right.
I've always been a personal fan of Freddy Krueger. I don't know what it is. I think it's just when I look into a horror character or a villain, so to speak, I don't look at it as, I respect Jason. I respect his body count and what he's done. I don't like somebody though who just comes in and just is very slasher, very I like the more strategic, more the Freddy Krueger, the just different characters like that. They really plan and think out what they're going to do. I like the calculations behind everything. I don't like just the brute force, and that's why I've never really gravitated towards the Michael Myers, the Michael Myers and the Jason Voorhees and all that. I'm more of how can I, as a villain, how can I make it as painful for my victim as possible? How can I create new ways of doing this? One of my favorite movies, See No Evil, with Kane or Glenn Jacobs. Seeing some of the ways he had killed off some of his victims, I mean, it's sadistic, and it's like, okay, that's different, but again, I've never really been much of a, silent, lob your head off type of guy. Put some more thought into it. Give the character more than just, just a body. Give him something. Give him something that's interesting.
I would love, this.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about it. This is going through my head now. Imagine if the Joker actually met the Terrifier. All right, and he'll say something to the Terrifier like, "Whew, black and white, a little bit drab for my taste, but nonetheless a classic."
Oh man!
Tell you what, my friend, Why don't you and
Joker
I
was,
do a little something kind of Richard B. Riddick-ish? Let's see who's the better killer.
HB, I love it. Hold on a minute.
dude. Thank you.
Great. That is. I mean, I admire.
That was phenomenal, dude.
It was.
Thank you.
It's something, you know. We have to give credit where credit's due, right? You know, we're always throwing surprises at each other. It's nice to get that unexpected surprise, you know, from a guest or somebody else. I don't know about Mac, but I was not expecting that. I don't think Mac was either. It was fantastic. You got me very intrigued to go check out more of your work because.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Just yeah.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
But now that does beg the question. Now you got me wondering: have you thought about reaching out to do voice work for the Joker or a more iconic character?
I have. What I do is I try to look at see what's out there, and I'm not sure. You know, if I were to do the Joker, what I did right there for you guys was basically a Mark Hamill. Okay. That's a Mark Hamill doing the Joker. Yeah. If I was to do the Joker, I would have to find some other way of doing it. I would really have to dig in. I would dig into the comics. I would instead of trying to find the voice, I would look at his face. I would look at all the pictures of the Joker and see what does his face sound like. Now that was what Mark Hamill put together. I would have to find maybe my own interpretation of it. He'll be wild, yeah. He'll be the Joker, but how would I sound? I haven't found that voice just yet. But if the chance ever arises, I wouldn't mind doing it. Hey, I wouldn't mind doing a fan film. I wouldn't mind doing a fan animation. That would be fun. Absolutely. But I'm always out. I'm always out there, auditioning and everything, trying out for different stuff. I don't always land everything, that's the thing about, acting and everything. You go out there, you stack up all the no's till you get to the yes. So that's what I'm waiting for. That's what I'm trying to work for.
Rapid question for and I'm going to throw this out to all three of us, right?
Gotcha.
Dream role, and kind of a two-part question. Dream role and favorite, just iconic, whether it's a villain, hero, any of the sorts. But let's start with the dream role. If you guys could play as any character, whether it's just the voice or overall in general, what's your guys' biggest dream to cover?
Oh. The Highlander.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Duncan MacLeod, the Highlander.
Absolutely. That's classic. Highlander is classic.
I'm a huge fan. Yeah.
If I were to voice a character, not so much. If I was to play, now that I did the Joker and everything, I'm kind of like still I'm in the Batman realm. If I were to voice a character, I would like to voice Batman. If I were to play a character on screen, I would love to be Commissioner Gordon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. You give off the Commissioner Gordon type vibes. I could actually really see
that. You know what? I actually posted a picture of myself when I was dressed up for another film that I was doing. Well, I was doing something with Omar, and when I looked at myself, I was like, all right, hey, listen, if anybody's doing a Batman fan film, count me in as Commissioner Gordon, man. I would love to do that.
See, for me, my personal favorite, and I got three favorite villains. One, I mean, absolutely tops the cake. And when talking to a few people, I had thrown out the question based on just my personality. If you could label me as any type of superhero or just Marvel or DC character, pretty much, who do I seem more like? I was given this answer. Well, you're more of three individuals kind of tied into one. Lex Luthor, the Joker, and Kingpin. I thought back and I'm like, okay. And honestly, Lex Luthor is my all time. He's my favorite, and I mean Kingpin is I mean he's right up there, But I'm a huge fan of the Joker. And for the dream role though, I would very much, if I ever had the opportunity, Lex Luthor all the way. And it's just because I love, again, I look at the intelligence of how that character works, and that's one of Luthor's power is he's at a genius level. I mean, just his intelligence is off the charts, and he knows what he's doing. And I'm a huge, I don't want to say Superman fan, but just of that realm and watching how all that works. Back when in my childhood, I was on the wrestling team, and I had gotten the nickname Superman. I thought take on the world, and our coach at the time was also our assistant principal. Well, never got along. Now our principal was short, stocky guy, very built, square head, pointy ears, looked like a freaking leprechaun. Never got along. I underestimated him, and I challenged him to a wrestling match, and he, of course, greatly obliged. I got the nickname Superman. He got the nickname Captain Crypto. I found out really quick why he was called Captain Crypto. I had to face the whole wrestling team. After the wrestling team, he comes in, and it's a sight that I don't care to relive, but for our lovely viewers and all of you, I don't mind it. Comes in with his singlet, and I mean, he just, when I tell you, he just pressed me over his head and just dropped me.
Wow.
It was, I don't think I have ever.
Ouch.
Yeah, it was something that afterwards I went home and I'm like, yeah, I ended up dropping out of the 9th grade.
I think I have two more.
I will say though, he who laughs laughs loudest, because he got his karma. Years later on, he ended up getting fired for wearing shorts during the lunch hour, and he put his leg up on the table in front of a bunch of girls.
Wow.
Well, girls seen a little more of the principal than they would have liked, and
oh my goodness,
he got fired. And then it's like, yeah, I mean, but no, it's one of those things. Like I've looked at more of the, and I don't know, I've gravitated more towards the villains than I have really the heroes. And really, it's because I've become more understanding as to why the villain, is the villain.
Yeah,
I can't be mad about. I may not condone what they do, but I'm more understanding as to why they became that way.
I learned from a podcaster, John Campia. He has his own show on YouTube, John Campia, and he said what makes a good villain is that not so much they're just like, oh, it's evil, but what makes a good villain is that villain believes that what he's doing
It's right.
is the right thing with all of his or her heart and soul, no matter what it took in order for them to achieve their goal. So when you're playing a villain, you gotta believe in what you're doing, even if it, the
HB, you there?
if there might be some collateral damage. Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yep, there you are.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
I will say.
I'll tell you two other characters.
Go ahead.
No,
Mike.
go ahead. I was going to say. No, I was just saying, since we're still talking about like the characters and stuff. I think like two other characters I wouldn't mind playing would be Jax out of Sons of Anarchy, and so I'm into more of like I'm into like the medieval times and like Vikings and stuff like that. There's a show. I don't know if y'all ever heard of the Seven Kingdoms. It's on Netflix.
Seven Kingdoms.
Yeah, it's about a kid who grew up as a Saxon, turned into Viking when he was adopted. He grows up and he basically fights for both sides because he grew up a Saxon, which is basically someone who's a Christian, and then was adopted by a Viking after the Vikings killed his parents, and so it's kind of like two stories into one. Yeah.
Oh, not only am I going to kill you, I'm going to.
But there's a character
too. Sure.
Yeah.
Right. Right. But there's a character. The main character. His name is Uhtred Ragnarsson. He would probably be another character that I wouldn't mind playing as well.
One villain that doesn't.
AJ, just go look it up.
I got to figure out how to pronounce it first. One and real quick though, one character that I believe, or one villain that doesn't get enough credit, is John Travolta's villain in the Punisher. I tell you.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And the one scene I remember the most, and it makes me want to go back and watch it, is the I guess his son, the Punisher, he killed his son or something, and he goes to send his henchmen to kill the Punisher. But behind every great man, there's a greater woman. And again, I look at kind of the aspect of the villain. I don't believe that John Travolta's character was really the one to look out for. It was actually his wife. He simply he wanted justice for his son, which I respect it. I get it. But for his wife to sit in that car and say, no, go after his family.
His whole family. I'm trying to remember Howard Saint and his wife was Livy or Olivia. I can't remember. Olivia. I can't remember.
Yeah. But look, I mean, look at this. I mean, goosebumps just thinking about that.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, so really it comes down to like who is the villain in that? Who's really steering the ship?
Right.
It's the quiet ones you got to watch out for.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, really. I mean, again, you look at the Joker. I mean, always running this about, still very dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But still, sometimes it's those background characters that deserve more of the attention than they really get. I mean, I just complete goosebumps
Hmm.
reciting that scene, and she wasn't even the focal point of
Right.
that scene.
That Punisher movie doesn't get the credit it really deserves, man. That Punisher, I enjoyed. Not nothing against Ray Stevenson. I thought his Punisher was good, but the Thomas Jane Punisher was like a Punisher on its own. John Bernthal's crazy. Don't get me wrong. John Bernthal is nuts as the Punisher. I love that series, but man, that Thomas Jane one, it's just like it's all its own. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. I have to agree.
Mm-hmm. It was a real crime drama. You know, I love that.
You know who does another great villain, and may God rest his soul. He did great for the original Daredevil when he played as Kingpin. Tim Duncan or
Michael Clark Duncan.
Michael Clark Duncan. Thank you.
Yeah.
But you know what though, I have to say,
Tim Duncan.
look, dude, I'm trying here. Vincent D'Onofrio. I'm sorry. You know, he just, again, it's different. He
Yeah.
hits different with that character, and no disrespect to the previous ones, right? You know,
Right.
but again, there are certain actors that play an iconic character that people just they fall in love with. You know, my personal favorite when it comes to the Joker, most people would say Heath Ledger. Personally, I think he gets more of that because of the unfortunate, passing. My personal favorite, Jack Nicholson. I just, I love what he did with it.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things. Like, of course, I assume that it would always be an honor to take on that role.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, and HB to share something with you. I was telling Mac earlier before the show. I was sitting here and I was listening to Big Time Rush, and their song Big Time. And after Nate had sent over that, the page was done and got all the credit and everything, I'm sitting there, I'm looking at it and like, I never thought that I would ever make it this far, or I would ever, get these opportunities. I mean, again, for me, it's that the gratitude and just whether it's a very small part in something or a very large part in something, there's still some sense of accomplishment or success, and for everybody who is watching and watches later on, please, I beg of you, don't ever take anything for granted.
Right.
Please just stay humble and understand that opportunities that are given, cherish it and be humble. God can take it away from you if you become very big-headed and just greedy about it. I choose to stay humble and know that, I can go right back to having nothing. It's oh, I'm getting emotional just thinking about it, but
Yeah.
it's one of those things. Please just cherish everything, that you have, that you get, cherish and be grateful for the breath you take. The fact that, that you can walk, you can see, you can do different things, children, spouse, cherish all of it.
Absolutely.
All of it. But before we wrap up here, as I look up at the time, is there any more questions, Mac? Do you have any more questions? HB, is there anything you would like to throw out there? Or simply we can keep going until HB you have to run off?
Actually, I wanted to just let everybody know that my lady, Rouge Rose, she is a filmmaker. and she and I are working on a film short called The Visuals. The Visuals is it tells a story of a virtual film festival, a virtual film festival submission that reveals disturbing secrets, and it kind of contradicts its artistic purpose. So in other words, it's a virtual film festival that kind of takes a dark turn when a certain film submission is shown, and crazy stuff happens. So big shout out to my
man,
love.
That sounds.
Yeah. Big shout out to my love.
Shout out to his lady.
Yeah, she wrote and she directed it. She's fierce. She's fire. She's doing it. And as a matter, like when we're done, when I'm done here, I have to work on some of the sound stuff for it. So, yeah.
I'm excited. You got me intrigued. And again, for me, it's not about jump scares. It's about that suspense, that creepiness, that you got me, HB. You got me very, very excited. And of course, we don't, want to.
AJ, I don't know what.
AJ, what now?
Yeah, AJ, I was gonna say. Usually, I'm the motivational speaker, but tonight, I don't know, man. Just something took over you tonight, brother.
You got that. Seriously, yeah, you got that, and that's a good message, man. Listen to my man. He, don't take nothing for granted. Tell your parents that you love them if they're still around. Tell your family that you love them. While you got them. Reach out to your friend. And try to squash the beefs. Man, you know what I mean? Life is too short. If you got a beef with somebody, man, just try to do your best to try to squash it. Try to be the bigger person. Try to squash the beef, man. Because when it comes right down to it, I think we need each other more than not. You know what I'm saying?
We're here to. We are here for a greater purpose.
Yeah.
Other than ourselves. And I say this, for almost all the time, and I try to throw it out there as much as I can, because people, walking down the street, you don't know somebody else's story. A simple smile, a simple hi, how you doing, a simple just gesture can save a life. I don't think people really understand the concept, but again, that person could be on the verge of suicide, could be on the verge of just, being done with it all. Again, because whether it's, how somebody, how that individual has been treated, to express, heartfelt care.
Yeah.
And it's, well, how you doing?
Yeah.
It's less than 2 seconds out of your day. If you're in a rush to go somewhere, a simple wave will do. It's something that, if that's too hard for you to do as an individual, then
I'm big on I'm really big on suicide prevention. You know what I'm saying? I mean, okay, we got to be careful how we say things online these days. I'm big on self-deletion prevention. I'll say like that. There's a phone number that you can reach out to, for that sort of thing. I don't have it to to my memory, but I'm gonna have to say the word. There's a suicide prevention hotline. All right. If you don't close the chapter of your life when you don't even know the ending of the story yet. You know what I'm saying? Life is like a book. You don't know anything until you really get to that last natural chapter. Don't end that. Life can be good if you give it a chance. You know what I'm saying?
And HB, brings up a really good point, because I'm not Catholic by any means, but I've always, and I felt very strongly about this, I would never ever do something like that. I get to the point where I loathe myself, and I will talk about it. At the same time, I would never follow through, for the simple fact that I strong believe my life, it's not for me to take. I did not give myself this. It's God. God gave me this life. It is up to Him when I go.
There you go.
By doing that to myself, I am playing God, and that's something I won't do.
You're throwing your life, the life that He gave you, back in His face, and He ain't that crazy about that. So he gave you a purpose. You just got to just take your time and pray and find out what that purpose is. You know, you'll find it if you keep trying.
Oh, yeah. And HB, we have a question for you. Then we promise we won't keep your lovely lady waiting.
Yeah.
We have been doing the Adventures of Mac and AJ based on real life personalities, fictional situations, and the context behind that is I get us into shit, and then I throw it right over to Mac to get us out of it. Mm-hmm. And those are, very real life things. Right. I will call Mac at 2, 3 in the morning. Hey, look, dude. Yeah, I got us into some trouble, and I'm not fixing to get us out. That's on you. So sometimes I will.
Look, I'll look at the phone. I don't even gotta pick up and say hello. I'll just be like,
"What is it?
What now?"
and the fucked up thing about it is sometimes I get us into these situations because I get bored and I need something to excite me. Anyways, with the book series that we've been doing, we were wondering if we could do a book with you in there, and then have you be a part of that. We are going into season 2, and we would love for you to be a part of that book.
Okay, is this an audio book, or is this like a written book, or is it a comic book? What kind of book is it?
Mac, you know more about this stuff than
it's
I do.
It's a written.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right now it's a written book. We would actually love to do some audio. Yeah, we would like to do some audio.
Well, you can reach out to me.
Right now, it's just a written book.
Okay. Well, if you decide to do that, I have a profile on ACX, which is the audio. It's the audiobook creators exchange. It's connected to Audible and Amazon, so you can find me out there. You can find my profile out there, then reach out to me there.
Well, I think.
Yeah, we just
decided to make it an audio book now.
I think it would be. I think it'd be great. Yeah, I think that'd be great, AJ. Me getting phone calls at 3:00 in the morning, doing an audio book. Yeah.
All right, folks. Well,
but yeah, we'd love to have you on the project.
Okay, sure.
Thank you, HB. Please give your lovely lady our apologies for keeping you so long.
No problem. No problem.
But as we say here, thank you. Well, first, thank you, HB, for coming on, talking with us, being a part
Thank you.
Thank you.
As for everybody else, you know what time it is. Y'all stay safe, be good. HB, if you want to. If not, you don't have to. We do this thing where we throw this up here, and we tell everybody, if it ain't sweet, it ain't tasty. And we come in, we
it ain't tasty.
And then 4 is up for the Rascals. We love y'all. Stay safe, be good, and 2 sweet your asses on out of here. Until tomorrow, get the fuck out.
Peace.
Oh,
see you guys. Thanks, HB.
All right, no problem.
Catch us tomorrow night,
9 p.m.
And it's time to hit my music.
Stay fly, hustle through the sky, moonwalk on clouds, stacking up cheddar, feeling better, proud, mind sharp, cutting through vibes, samurai sword, dropping bars, hit like a freight train aboard. City lights reflect dreams, mirrored ambition, chasing glory in the chaos, no permission. Quick, sharp tongue, arrows in the dark, navigating life, playing like a park. Buster rhymes taking over, no one can ignore. From the alleyways to the grand concert hall floor, putting pieces together, call it life jigsaw. Rise from the the ashes, Phoenix never withdraw. Cold nights, warm dreams, hustling for the cream. Every block another challenge, never what it seems. Silent whispers in the wind, secrets unfold. Weave stories with rhythm, iron thread to gold. Past troubles, now chapters in a book. Flipping through pages, never a second look. Running fast, marathon of vibes, so free. Corner to corner, city to city, life beats. Eyes on the prize, never blink, dodge the haze. Echoes of the past haunt sometimes the blaze. Blueprint to future, scribbled on city walls. Stand tall, fortress of rhymes, never falls.